Hey folks, it's Frithguy here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Boulder Creek. Is it Boulder Creek? Boulder Canyon, sorry, Boulder Canyon, not Boulder Creek. We are just about to trial our X-Lifter with working as a log skid. This is the plan. This is the ultimate plan. We've been thinking about this for a while now. Is it actually going to work? So my weekly question this week, while I'm getting this set up a minute, let's just back that a bit like that, shall we? I think that'll do. There we go. Right. Yeah. My weekly question this week, oh, it works, is what do you want me to do? Wait, what? Well, that didn't seem to work at all. Yeah, anyway, my weekly question, I will get there. I would like to use auto-load trailers with this series. Some of you have said you don't like the idea of me using auto-load trailers and have stated as such. And so somebody came up with a suggestion that I thought was a really good compromise. We could, instead of using auto-load trailers, we could well, not instead of, while we use the auto-load trailers, what we can do is we can, wait, why isn't it dragging? It's just not working at all, is it? It's sort of. Doesn't want to move, though. That log is not wanting to move at all. What we can do is, while we're using the auto-load trailers, we fast-forward time. 30 times speed was the initial suggestion. I'm thinking that 30 times speed, however, is not fast enough. I think we need to move it more than that. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It may be fast enough, it may not be fast enough. It does depend on everybody's personal preference. Do you think that it's fast enough, or do you think we should be moving it a bit more than that? So, today is your chance to vote. This week is your chance to vote. Do you think that when we use an auto-load log trailer, we should be fast-forwarding time at 30 times speed? Or do you think we should be moving time forward at 60 times speed whenever we're using an auto-load trailer? So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. Do you think we should fast-forward time at 30 times speed or 60 times speed whilst we're using an auto-load trailer? Let's see if we can make this thing work. Come on, we need to be able to make this work. Doesn't like it like that, though, does it? It really doesn't seem to like it at all like that. Doesn't do anything. Look, I'm going all the way over here. It's just going to catapult and kill it in a minute. Something nasty is going to happen if I try and do it like that. It really, really doesn't like it. So how can we do this then? It looks like I might have to cut the trees in half in order to make this work. Because I can do it from back here, look. If I bring that back down there, and bring it to that position, look. That works. It's not ideal, but it does work. Which means that it does also lift and drags. Right, so if that works, it stands to reason that it should also work with the rest of it. So let's just jump off a minute, and what we'll do is we'll try cutting it in half first. We go to there, and we'll slice you in half like that. And then we'll jump back onto here, and we'll see. So I want to grab the back part of this first. We might be able to move, we still might be able to move two of these. Lift you up. Right, I got one there. And I can drag that one up this way a bit, like this. Bring it round. Because that one, that does kind of lift. No, the tractor is not going to weigh more than a single log like that. So that, I believe, we could class as realistic. And then we bring this one over here like this. We back that up a bit. This is the bit that we're going to struggle with a bit more. Right, we can get it to there. And maybe if I lower it down. Lower you down like that. We've got the X lifter is going all the way back over there like that. And then I back out further onto it still. And I put those straps on. Well, that's not working great. Oh, I know what you know what we've done? Pull that in a bit, like that. Now lift it. Well, that's not ideal, is it? We pull it in that way. And then I'll... yeah, take the straps off. That doesn't seem to work either. Alright. Extend it out. Like that. And put the straps on there. I'll lift it ever so slightly. Now it's working as a log skid. That's actually working as a log skid. Right, it's skidding the logs along the ground. It may not be great. We have had to cut it in half. But we knew that it wasn't going to be great. And the physics of the game do have to come into this a little bit. We do have to allow for the physics of the game that we know they're not ideal. If I lower it down a bit more, maybe that will work a bit better for it. Yeah, physics are going crazy at the moment. I've lowered it down as much as it will go. It's going to dance those logs around a bit doing this. But it is pulling them. Okay, I like this. It is dancing them round a bit, but it is at least pulling them along the ground as well. I mean, maybe I can lift it a bit. That's giving us a bit more speed. We've got the crazy logs. We are having to deal with the crazy logs, but they're not so crazy that they're not like it's not going completely insane. He says, as they start to go completely insane. It's because they're lifting them ever so slightly into the air, isn't it? But if I turn, when I'm turning, it's keeping them a little bit more under control. So we've part of this is physics. Part of this is unfortunately game physics. We'll have to overlook that bit, and we'll say that we are still dragging them along the ground. Slows us down here, but it's certainly, if we can get this in position, it seems like it might be faster getting it to this point than it would cutting up loads of logs and then dragging them through. Having to cut the logs in half means that taking 2 of them at a time will allow us to... we don't have to cut them up once we get them in here. All we've got to do is drag them in and sell them. We don't have to do anything else at all. Just drag 2 logs in and sell. Just like that. There, we've got them to that point there, and now all I got to do is pull them into here. There, stop, and take the strap off like that. There, perfect. Sell 2,295. So it's not a tremendous amount of money. I'm not going to do very much with the lifter. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's not a huge amount of money, 2,200, but the amount of time it takes to cut up the timber into much smaller pieces and then move it is significantly increased over the amount of time it takes to just grab that one. And we've also got the option of doing this a minute. Let me... go on. This one here has been bugging me for absolutely ages. You're seriously going to jump away from... It's teleporting away from me. You can't do that. That's cheating. Give me a place over there. There we go. Right. I've got it. I've got it now. It's mine, and I can carry this one. That's small enough that I can carry it. I ought to pull it in a little bit. Like that. There we go. But this is smaller. I can definitely carry it. This is small enough for me to carry. This is awesome. This is genuinely, genuinely awesome. I can actually carry this stuff around a small piece of timber at a time. I can't remember what we get for these. I know that you do get money for them. What do we get? 75. Right, it wasn't... That really wasn't worth the effort. That one definitely wasn't worth the effort. But the others are going to be worth the effort. We're going to go back out and we're going to grab more trees. If we're cutting each tree in half, I don't actually know at the moment what the optimal kind of tree length is. I don't know if anybody's done any surveys on this. I know in FS19 it was 8 to 12 meters was the optimal length. You needed to get your timber between 8 and 12 meters. 10 meters seemed to be about perfect. So, actually, it might have been 7 and 12 meters. Something like... close enough, anyway. Something like that. So you could just go and do it like that. Now, this tree here is ever so slightly shorter. I may be able to drag this one just as it is without having to do very much else. So let me get close to it like this and then back up. You need to get it roughly in line there, I think. And then lower that one down like that and extend out. Extend, 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 extend. Come on, you're very slow. Lower you down like that, and then straps on while it's down that way like that. Nope, it's not having it. Oh, yes it is. Right, that one does actually seem to be allowing me to skid it. It's just short enough to allow the skidding action to take place. It may not be brilliant, because it's definitely all over the place. That is nowhere near being held on to. If I lower it down a bit, is that going to be better? No, I don't think that's helping. Bring it up like that, maybe. Let's try and lift it off the ground. Okay, that is not quite what I was hoping for. When I was wanting a log skid, that was really not the sort of thing that I had in mind. It's got to be said. Oh, now we're getting caught on things. It's doing it though. It's still doing it. I can turn this way. So I know I've got this kind of crazy visual going on, but the game, it's not doing it all based on that visual, though. It is doing some of it based on what it should actually be doing. So we'll just go up here. Now, is it going to make it up this hill? Is it going to get all the way up there? You know, I think it might. I think we might actually do it. Once we get up there, I'm going to cut the tree in half rather than... Oh, I wonder. Maybe we ought to do a test. I mean, a proper test would be, like, do it, save, exit, do it again. But I don't think we should do that. I don't think that's going to be beneficial to us. I'll swing you around like that. I'll just bring this one over. So, no, what I'll do is, we had one cut in half that got us about $2 grand. I'll put one there like that, and this one I'm just going to sell as a single tree, 700. Right, we definitely need to cut the tree. I'm thinking probably we want to try and cut the tree into 3 pieces. Definitely 2 pieces. Definitely want to cut it into 2 pieces. So that we've got like a little bit extra coming from it. We lower that down there. And yeah, we'll carry on like this. But it works. It does work. That's the important thing. That's the only important thing that we need to worry about at the moment. It is nowhere near as good as the tree winch that we've used previously. In FS17, we had that tree winch. That one was possibly one of the greatest mods that there was for doing tree work. Especially when you wanted to do smaller tree work. Right? That mod was absolutely wonderful. It was like a small miracle. It really was. It was like a small winch-shaped miracle. We'll take these off. These trees here, I think these might actually we get away with doing as single trees. And one thing I am going to do is I'm going to run through here and I'm going to go and grab a piece of timber for knocking those over. Because those short trees, that's not the first time that's happened. So we'll have you here. We've got a little club right here that we can use to push over these trees. Because that seems to happen every time I try to cut one of those down. It's only those. It's only those right there. Every time. Every single time. They don't want to go. So we have to, like, give them a little bit of a nudge. I'll put the timber out there so that I can see it. And then I want to go like that. And I want to make sure that I'm facing the right way to cut this one down. Yeah, that one's fallen over okay. Right, there's our next two trees. Oop, steady. Go like that. And then we'll come up through here. So 700 for a single tree, just as it was. But you got to bear in mind, though, that that was a fairly big tree, right? That was a fairly big tree. I think these smaller trees, I think these are small enough that we could probably leave these intact. I think we can. We'll see. We'll try dragging one at a time up to the mill, and we'll see how that goes. And if it takes two, because it's a little bit of a slow trip up there, isn't it? It's not the fastest trip, but we're also offsetting the speed that it takes us to cut the tree into smaller logs, pick it up, load it into the trailer, and then take the trailer up. So we've got that to take into account as well. Ideally, what we'd want to do is we'd want a log skid like we had in FS19, and we'd want to be able to use that one. Right. Now that branch, that's much better. Look. See? I've only got one. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's not shaking around horrifically. And the tractor is still able to move. So if I can do them at this size, maybe I should just do one at a time. Just do one branch at a time. The big ones, the small ones, whatever. The big trees we cut straight in half. I pick them up one at a time like this, and I run up through. Rather than trying to do multiples. Trying to do multiple branches of any kind doesn't seem to work very well. I get a little bit of a wiggle on when I'm going around the corners, but generally speaking, this seems to work. Of course, the big question is how much money am I going to get for this one? I could bring this one up. It doesn't even slow down. It does slow down, but not, like, massively as I come up here. That's the bit that's going to make it struggle. Yeah, I don't want to turn too quickly on there, do I? Okay, I go around to there. Move forward a bit. And drop you. Now, I'm looking at that. I'm thinking here. Oh, what? I remember that now. It doesn't let you cut up except on your own land. So I only get 500 for that one. Is that worth it? I don't really think that's worth it. I mean, I could try and cut that tree up into two pieces, and maybe I could pick it up in the middle. Would I be able to do that? Those smaller ones, could I pick them up in the middle and bring them up? It's giving me a slightly shorter one. Whatever happens, we're looking now at going for the auto load, I think. I think the auto load ought to be our next target. I was going to say... I was talking about having the stump grinder as our next target, but I think really the auto load as our next target would be better. Purely because if we go for the auto load next, we're going to be able to clear the land a bit faster. You know, it's getting to the point where we are going to want to be able to start shifting things a little bit quicker if we can. It's going to speed things up a little bit. It's going to just make our lives a little bit easier for us in general. So take you there. I can't... It really does bug me that I'm not allowed to cut up branches on anywhere except my own land, because that makes no sense, right? I should be at least allowed to cut branches on other lands. But still, if we can't, we can't. But I mean, if I can pick up the one tree itself, I ought to be able to pick these up. I'll go forward a little bit so that I'm slightly more on this end of it, like that, and... there, I think. Pick you up like that. And we're away. Right, that works. That's working. We've got a log skid. We've got a working, fully operational log skid. I very nearly tipped over just then. Very nearly just tipped over. But look at that. It's now that's more like it. And it's sort of, it's holding on as well. Look. See that? Two of them are holding together as well. That's a good look. It's definitely a good look. We got a proper operational log skid on there. That's fantastic. Well, yeah, of course I'm trying to get a screenshot of it. That's something that I'm going to need. We've had some success. The next question will be, if I can cut the logs to about this length, can I pick up two with the bigger trees? When they're spread out a bit, I'm not so sure. We might have to go one at a time. But I had that one tree. That was about 500. This one here now, I've got this one divided in half. So same tree, pretty much exactly the same length, and now I've got this one divided in half. This would be a good test for us, actually. Let's see what we get with the way of money for length of log, that sort of thing. 532. That's pretty much identical. No real difference in that one. So those trees, it doesn't make a great deal of difference, but it did transport nice and easy. Although the last one transported fairly easy as well. Both of those transported very well. So we go for a big tree this time. Chop down a great big tree. We'll cut it in half. No. I'll cut it into three. One of those big tall pine trees. One of those great big tall ones like that. I'll cut it into three pieces. I'll lower the X lift right the way down. As low as it will go. And then I've still got a few of those huge pine trees swaying in the wind up there. The shorter trees, I don't need to do anything other than lop them over and have done with. So like those two, those tall ones up there, we're going to cut up into pieces. This one, that's just one tree on its own, and off he'll go. This one right here, I'm going to try cutting this one. First, I'm going to cut this one in half. Right, we've done... I did already... Actually, I did it in half already, didn't I? So we know that it was also a struggle to pick it up. We did eventually do it, but it was a genuine struggle to pick this one up. So I'm going to try and cut this one into three pieces if I can. Not quite sure where the best spot to cut the three pieces is. There we go. So we've cut that bit to there. About there, I think. So slice number one, and then... Ooh, this is a very big tree, isn't it? Okay, we'll go slice number two right there. Hopefully, that will work. Right, I've stayed a little bit clear of the tractor. Oh, you know what? I'm going to cut this one over, chop this one down while I'm at it, and I'll have that one as a whole tree. And I'll just drag that one up as it is. Seeing as he's right there. Take my cut through there. Yeah, comment section today is pretty much the same as yesterday. Give me your thoughts and opinions on, well, one, what do you think about the, because we're going to have to be getting the universal sell point very, very soon. So I was talking yesterday about conditions for when we sell stuff. Do we sell it only by the full trailer load? So we have to get some on-farm storage in order to be able to sort of, you know, continue on with that, because we can't do it without on-farm storage. The sell point only works for full trailer loads, and we can choose when we want to sell it. So when the price is good, we can sell, and we can store it when the price is not so good, but we do have to go for full trailer loads. And then there was some other conditions I thought that maybe we could seriously consider as well. Right. Short piece there. I'm getting a little bit of wiggle with this one, but it's still operating as a log skid rather than anything else. I'm going to get more of a wiggle when I try to go around the corners, but it eases itself down a bit as we go on through. Well, he says, as it continues to get worse and worse and worse. Maybe I can pick it up a bit. Nope. No, that doesn't actually seem to be working quite as well as I'd hoped. So we'll leave it down, right down on the ground like that. That might be the better way of doing this. Bring you around that way. Is that going to work better? Struggling more with it like that. I lift it off the ground a bit. That's better. Right. I have got it snaking again, which is not great, but I mean, we know that it wouldn't be doing this in real life, so I think that when it does things that it definitely wouldn't do in real life, we can overlook that a little bit, and we can just sort of put that down to a mechanic of the game that doesn't work quite as well as we'd like it to, and then we don't need to worry about it, because you would be able to use this thing as a log skid. It would work as a log skid. We would definitely be able to do this. It might be a bit difficult, but it would still work. Oh, it's dragging a bit here. It is getting there. It is getting there. So yeah, what you want with the universal sell point, and in particular things like storing milk and how much we should do for eggs, how many eggs we should have to have before we can sell. How often milk should be stored for, and how much we should have for that. I was also considering not selling milk at all, and maybe we should try and get a mod that converts milk into cheese or something like that. 1,800 for that one. That one branch there. That's pretty good, because we had like 2,000 for the whole tree when we had the two together. So that seems to be a reasonable amount there. Now, we got 2 more branches from that same tree. I might be able to pull both of those up together. Should be a little bit more money coming up. I'm still wondering, though, if it's just easier to load up that trailer and do it with the trailer rather than using this log skid. Because the one problem with the log skid is the way that it's going a little bit crazy. And it doesn't seem to have quite the strength that I was hoping it would. I was hoping that it would be able to pick up a little bit more than it seems to, which is kind of holding it back a bit. I was really hoping it would grab the end of the tree and would just be away. Whoosh. Hi-ho silver. Stop there a second. And can I move? No, right, okay. It's too heavy for me to move by hand, which means that we might be able to do something with the X lifter. I'll bring that one over there like that, there, and I put that one on. Right, what are you doing? You're sliding forward. Now, wait a minute. How much have I got? There's not a lot on this one. There's not a lot left on that one. I ought to be able to take... I should have cut that one back a little bit further, I think. Cutting it back a little bit further would have been better. I don't think, really, we want to be trying to move 2 of them at once, though. I think I just want to go back here to this branch and just worry about this branch, this log. Just worry about this one. Don't worry about trying to carry anything else with it. Just have that one like that. I'll lift it slightly, and we'll go away like this. So this one is... This one's definitely swinging around a bit. I think mainly is because it's just too long. I think that's a large part of it. It's just a little bit too long to be able to work properly. Look at it. Yeah. And also that's going to end up costing us, I think. You know, I think if we were able to cut that a little bit shorter, it would have been better. But, well, what's done is done. We've got it this long now. There's nothing that we can do about it. So we'll drag this one up round, and we'll see what we get. I'm guessing in the region of $700 for this one. Maybe a bit more. No, probably actually a bit less, to be honest. And then the other branch that's left, that's going to be like 400. But we'll be able to, that one will skid up round really quickly. Alright, we're not going to lose a huge amount of time on that one. This one here, the thing sort of twisting around is causing the tractor to sway slightly, and so we're having the physics of the game fight against us a little bit on this. I'll lift you up there like that. Tractor's sitting up a little bit, but it's still going. I wanted to lift it up a bit so that it would keep going. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Go on. You can do this. You can do this, Bessie. I've got complete faith in you. I know you can do this. Keep it going. I can't cut you in half. I can't cut this log in half at all. I can drop it there, though. There we go. What do we get? Nice. $1,700 for that one as well. So we're making some progress. This is good. We've got $8,000 at the moment from using the X-Lifter. Honestly, at this point, I'm thinking that this one isn't saving us money. I'm thinking it's actually going to be faster. We're going to earn our money quicker if we do it via the trailers. So what we'll do for the rest of this episode, we've got enough money to at least make our payments overnight. We're not going to drop into negative equity from our payments overnight. This one is, it does sort of work, but it is a little bit unfortunate. We will be using this one later in the series. We're going to want this one for fertilizer and things like that. But at the moment, it's not ideal. It's not really fit for the purpose that we require of it. So we're going to go and park it up. And then we'll unhitch this one at some point later on. And we will start using the tractor with that nice red trailer again for our next episode. But what we're going to do now for a little while is... just going to unhitch that one there. We're going to cut down some trees and we're going to cut them up. I'm going to spend a little while cutting trees into logs. Right, that's all ready to go there. I've got a couple trees over here. I mean, it did sort of work. We had I'd say that we had some. It was sort of semi-successful, wasn't it? It wasn't a complete and total failure, but it still wasn't ideal. Now, I don't believe that our IMT is strong enough to be able to pull the auto-load log trailer that I've got in mind. So unfortunately, because I was thinking, oh, maybe we could go and we could use that. I've also been thinking about it some more, and I'm thinking that I won't actually increase the horsepower on that tractor anymore. It was an old beat-up tractor. We've done our best to repair it, and we've spent a little bit of time and effort doing some repair work on it. But, you know, there comes a point we have to say, I don't think really we're going to get a good repair job done on this tractor. I think we've got as much as we can get out of it. So, yeah, it's going to struggle a bit on the hills, and it's quite a weak tractor, really. It's never going to be one of the best tractors that we're going to have on the farm. All right, it's never going to achieve that target. But it is useful for a small tractor to do the odd little job with. There's no denying that, and it always will be. It always will be. It will always have a place right here on the farm and in our hearts. There, see, I done it. I made it all noble and everything. And, ooh, okay, I didn't actually expect to be able to pick that one up. So I'm going to use that and nudge you down over there. Big lever like that. And then we go... Oh, that was another thing that people said to me. When the IMT, not the IMT, the Mahindra, when that one rolled over, and then I used the stick to just poke it upright, and I said I didn't think it was realistic. People leapt on that one and said, well, actually, just a minute, you used a lever. You did what everybody does the world over, and you used a lever. So if we get something tip over on its side, we can go and use a log, and we can put it right way up using using a log. And we're just using a lever. It's quite acceptable. Let's turn the light on here. Wow, that's blinding. It works though. I can see much better now. Ooh. Right. Squat down onto there. Start running my way up through it. That's better. There we go. All the way through. Keep going. Keep going. Focus. Focus. Yes. Perfect. Right. Cut off the top bit right there like that. And that one sort of about there, I think. And then we want to go into slightly shorter lengths down through here. And then we can very quickly sling these into our little red wagon tomorrow. I say tomorrow. It'll be next week now, won't it? Oh, okay, I've done that one. What about this one? Have I chopped this one up? Yeah, that one's chopped up. It's ready to roll. Yeah, that's all ready to go. You. Yeah, you're ready to go. Just making sure I've chopped everything up that's on the ground before I cut any... Oh, hang on, we got one over here. That one is not ready to go yet. Give that a little bit longer. A bit more tail on that one. And come down here a bit, and then you sort of got to make them a little bit shorter as you go through. The auto load... I'm going to need to, like, cut the branches up, but it's going to be interesting trying to guess those and getting them in the right place as well. It's going to be quite interesting getting that, but I think we'll be alright, because I think, like, the really big trees, we cut them in half, cut them into 3, and then these smaller, excuse me, we just cut them in half, and I think that'll be kind of like an optimal amount all the way through. At least this is what I'm hoping. Really, really hoping. There. I don't know if I need that torch on just yet. It's a little bit blinding, really. Bring that down through there. So we cut up another one. And so by having a whole load of these all chopped up on the ground, we should just be able to start throwing them in that trailer as fast as we can at the beginning of our next episode. And I'm kind of hoping that by the end of the episode, we'll be getting towards our money that we need to do everything with auto load. Getting towards it. Oh, actually, hang on a minute. I didn't think about this, did I? I have thought about it, but yeah, 45,000 for that. But what was the other trailers? I forgot how much. 45. I was thinking 45,000. That's our target, but no. 55, 65. 71,000. 71,000. Oh, no. Back. 71. And then dollies here. Oh, we can use either one. They're both the same. What's the difference? 71. Oh, one's got colour options. This one here's got colour options on it. I can go for a pink rim if I want. Like that. And that's an extra 500 if I change the option there. Go for the original rim colour. Oh, it's 200 for those wheels. Well, we ought to maybe consider wide tyres. So it's 930. What did I say? 71? We're looking at 80 grand. I gotta get... good gravy. I gotta get $80,000. That's gonna take us a little while. A little bit longer than I thought. Still, it can be done. It can be done. That's 600 there. I think, realistically, we also want those wheels, don't we? So, we are looking at 80,000, maybe a fraction over. That is a lot of money. That is... There's no denying that's a lot of money. 80 grand. That's exactly 10 times what I've got right now. I can do this. I'm confident that I can do this. $80,000. That's going to be our next major purchase. And from there, we're then able to start saving up for the next major purchase. And we have got several more major purchases that we need. We got a small purchase in the shape and form of a stump grinder. We also want to get a universal sell point, which is going to cost us 100. I was thinking 100,000. Right, 100,000 was my initial sort of impulse on that one. So we got to get a few more branches and stuff loaded up and done with that, so we can get our 100,000. That shouldn't be too difficult. Once we got the auto loader, it's going to be a lot faster to do that. Still got to clean the trees down, but we haven't got to cut them up as much. Like these short ones, I've only got to cut them in half instead of into more pieces. And loading will be fairly quick and easy as well, in theory. It's just moving the stuff around, and we still ought to be able to do that. My only concern is that the auto-load trailer, the long trailer, getting stuck going up that hill. Is our 90 horsepower tractor going to be strong enough to pull the stuff up the hill? And is it going to become grounded at the top of that ramp? That is my only serious concerns on the whole project. I mean, I don't think it will. When I say don't think, what I really mean is I hope and pray. I'm hoping and praying to anything and everything that is holy that we might be able to do it. And it's not going to get grounded. Because if he does get grounded going up there, we're going to be in some serious doo-doos. We really are. Right. Over there. Run up through this one. It looks like we are going to be... how are we doing for time? No, we got 10 minutes, I think. Maybe a little bit under 10 minutes. Not quite sure. Something like that. And down through here. I'm just sort of looking and see how that translates to time left for the episode and time left before I have to fast forward the night. We're doing all right. We might be fast forwarding the night before the end of the episode. We might not. Quite sure yet. Chop you down like this, and then we'll go all the way down through this one, and these long trees, I mean, it doesn't actually take that. These chainsaws are pretty good, right? That they are quite good. I was wondering about getting the sawdust mod, whether or not that, you know, anyone had made the sawdust mod, and what it would be like adding it into the map using the sawdust mod. And then I got to thinking, you know what? That sawdust mod over everything we've done so far, that could be a lot of work to try and pick everything up. Like a huge amount of work. We definitely need to get the stump grinder first to clean everything up here. Oh, I can't pick that one up. Or that one. I can pick that one up, but these two here, ever so slightly wrong, so now I've got to cut them into 4 pieces instead of 3 pieces. I should have cut them into 3 and that'd have been alright. Never mind. Right, that's those I can pick up. Then I can do that, like that. So, yeah, that would have been... using that old sawdust thing, that quite possibly could have caused us like a bit of a headache, I think. We could have just had too much sawdust lying around here, and it could have caused us some problems. So I don't know if I should be grateful that it's not out yet or not. I really have no clue. I was also thinking, if, you know, once things start to progress in this series, and our target is going to be a set number of each animal. I may very well set that as the question next week, but I wanted to get the auto-loader decided this week, because there's a good chance that I might actually get to the point where I want to use an auto-loader next week. So I wanted to get your views on that one, and I thought doing it by a question would be the best way to do that. It's the fairest way, everybody gets a say in it. And then we can sort of take it from there. After that, we'll sort of see what we're going to do. You're moving around a lot. So I'll probably ask you about the animals next time. The universal sell points. I get the general vibe that most of you are pretty happy with the idea of going for 100,000 for that one. So I don't really think that I need to do too much of a question on that whole idea. We just set it at 100,000 and we'll go from there. Right, now you right here. Why aren't you... Look, see, it's going all the way down there, and it's not allowing me to do it here on this bit. Cut the end off like that, and we'll do it. And then go to there. So yeah, universal sell point at 100,000. That will then allow us to get the sell point so that we can start selling grain. The only problem is that with the universal sell point, we got to sell whole amounts of grain. We got to sell whole quantities. It's got to be a set amount each time. We can sell it at like a trailer load. So we take the trailer load from storage. We can't sell it. The problem is that we can't sell it straight off the field. We got to store it and then sell it. If we want to do grain, we got to buy a combine, and we've got to buy all of the equipment, the plow and everything. Well, we're going to need the plow anyway. I'm thinking at the moment though, we could do a bit of meadow grass right here. We can just mow and we can bale up. We don't need to plow. We're not being forced to plow, so we can avoid the plow, the cultivator, the seed drill. We wouldn't be able to fertilize. We can't do any of that. So we're not going to get fantastic yields, but we are going to at least progress things a little bit, and we'd be able to sell some bales. Now, the universal sell point when it comes to bales, that I think is a little bit different. You know, we'd be able to sell I don't know, maybe... I don't quite know how we'll do that. Maybe stack the bales up on it, and then you sell them all at once. I don't really know how the sell point will even work with bales. I've no idea. It might not even... Well, I'm hoping that it would accept bales. That's kind of the whole point. It needs to accept bales as well. Because, what would we need? We need a baler. We would need a... Oh, I can move that one. Yeah, ideal. We need a baler. We need a rake. We need a mower. Excuse me. Baler, mower, rake, and ideally a wrapper as well. You know, the wrapper turning it into silage is going to make a huge difference. You know, we got silage bales to sell rather than just bales of hay. Well, bales of grass are fairly worthless, so we would definitely want to try and go for bales of silage if at all possible to start with. And we could pull bales of silage off of this. We can mow some of this and we can pull some bales of silage. It might be a bit ropey. To reflect the fact that they're a bit ropey, what you've basically got is you've got a vastly decreased yield off of here at the moment. You're not going to get very much yield. We'd still have to try and get rid of as many of the stumps as we possibly could off of here. So we'd have that to deal with as well. It's definitely not going to be easy. So once we've got an auto log loader, we've still got to then earn $100,000 in order to get the universal sell points. Then we've got to go and earn enough money to be able to do the next bit, which, even if it's just grass, I've still got to be able to get all the machinery for doing the grass, right? The mower and everything. I ought to be able to power all of that with the hurleyman, so long as I've got small stuff, so we're talking round bales. But we're still looking at easily another 100,000 in materials and machinery in order to be able to get that little project underway. So, minimum of 200,000. Then, if I want to be able to get grains, I've got to have my own grain storage because I can only sell trailer loads at a time. I can't sell less than trailer loads. One thing we could do before we go buying combines, because, you know, we have to, if we want grains, we've got to buy a combine as well as grain storage, stuff like that. But one thing that we could do, one option we have, is before we go doing that, we could buy sheep. Sheep is something we can actually go and get. Right? They're not going to break the bank. They are going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap to get the sheep. We don't have an animal buy sell point here, so you've got to buy them through the interaction point on the actual sheep pen, which that would kind of accurately reflect the fact that we've got to ship all the animals into this area. I'm getting really bad at judging the length of these. Yeah, so we'd have to do that as well as another thing to take into account. So there's a lot. We got a lot of work to do, but possibly sheep are going to turn up on the map before we even think about doing arable stuff, because then we got wool. The sheep are going to start increasing in number. All we need to do, we are going to have to get a water source, so we'll have to dig a borehole or dig out a pond or something. We've got a couple of options for that, I believe. Where we've got the placeables for the water. We need a water tanker, and we would need, really just a front loader. For moving bales around, to start with, maybe a front loader, or maybe we'll just use the, like the Ursus type, auto load type thing. But we're still going to want, eventually, a tractor with a front loader so that we can move the pallets of wool. That's going to be another problem, because I haven't got anything at the moment that I can move that with. And buying the hurleyman, that one doesn't take a front loader. So there's another issue that we've got to contend with. We've got to go and buy yet another tractor that can take a front loader. I really, really don't want to buy one of those Fortscript things. Right? I cannot begin to describe how much I don't like the look of those tractors. Right? I don't know. They just don't look like a decent tractor. You ever get a tractor that you would rather go out and do the job by hand and have to sit in that tractor for very much longer? I get that strong vibe from these Fortscript things. I just don't like the look of them. at all. However, unfortunately for me, I may have to swallow my pride on that, because these things do take front loaders, and it's the cheapest tractor by far that takes a front loader, right, by a long way. I've got that Hurleyman right there, doesn't take a front loader. That one doesn't take a front loader. This one does, but that's $85,000. 125 horsepower is good. This one over here at 100 horsepower is also good. I don't like it. 320A standard. I go for brown right there. Wow. Okay, the coloring's kind of good. Beacon lights, fender, beacon light with fender, standard. Oh, the fender's out. Where's the fender? Oh, there, mudguard down the back. I see. Right, I'm with you. Okay, wheel setup. We got twins. We got narrows as an option on these. Narrow twins, wheel weights, standards. Front loader attachment as well we can have on here if we want to. That one will attach onto the side, which we can use. That's 1,500. So we've only got an extra 50. That's 56,500, and then the loader. Right, so I might have to just swallow my pride to get that one. This one first, though. Right, we go 10,000 cheaper and we get that one first. And then we're in a position where we can start dragging stuff around. The cheapest one over here is the Fent right there. That's $76,000. Actually, that's cheaper than that one. That's cheaper than that. That Fent is 115 horsepower. It's got engine setup. I can go up to 150 horsepower if I go up to almost 100,000. You know, that might be something that we do, because we could go with that one to start with. All right, we just buy this one as it is, 76,000, and then we go later on and we spend a load of money at the garage, and we get a 35 horsepower boost on that tractor. That's not bad. And it starts at 76,000. That's the starting price for that one. That might be our loader tractor. Ignore this one. Still go for the Hurleyman and the other, so we spend our 80 grand, and then we go for that other one. But anyway, I've run out of time for today's episode. It's 6:15 right now. I've got some more chopping that I can do, but I'm not going to worry about it. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. Won't forget the weekly question. When I am using auto-load trailers, would you like me to better simulate the passage of time by speeding time up to 30 times speed? Or would you prefer me to speed it up to 60 times speed? I know that the auto-load trailers are not particularly realistic, and I feel this is a good compromise between the two if I was to use, fast forward time a little bit while we're using them. Just speed time up, so to better represent the amount of time that we're saving. That way, we're not actually physically saving a massive amount of time whilst using those trailers. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithcar, goodbye, and see you later.